Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Enlightenment Podcast, where we talk about ideas that transform your life. Today, I'm joined with a genuine Indian Hindu, someone that is knowledgeable, understands Hinduism, understands the science of spirituality, and we're here to gather some wisdom from him. So, without further ado, please introduce yourself and welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Shiva. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to come here and express my views and share my experience, life experience here. My spiritual name is RamanaBhairavaDas. That's because my guru is Ramana Maharishi, and I've been connected with Ramana Maharshi uh, quite some time. And Bhairava is my Ishtadeva, the deity who I worship, who I have a liking towards. And Das is me. I'm a servant of both. So that is how I came up with that
So,
that name.
did this, is this something that you were born into or something you discovered? How did you come into this? Um,
I was born into a Brahmin family. I'm born into a Brahmin family. However, due to the economic conditions in India, my grandfather never focused much on the spirituality and all these things. He was all about we have to make money and we have to make sure that there's a comfortable physical setting. So he used to have his prayers and all, but apart from that there was not a big seeking that hand. But then the thing was that he my grandfather had a son who is my uncle, like my dad's younger brother, who was very much into seeking from a very young age, and he had intense, what you call as vairagya, right? And he was also pretty studious. So in that process, he decided to seek, and he read a quote by Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba, which says like, enlightenment is the goal of human being, is the goal of a human being, is what. And then that captivated him, and he went on this journey to seek a guru, and he came across several teachings. But then he found that the teachings of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi were direct, because it's all about self inquiry and who am I, and directly getting to the truth. So in that process, right, the astonishing thing is he went to Shirdi. So Shirdi is this place in Maharashtra, India, where Sai Baba's Jiva Samadhi, as in his living mausoleum, you could say, like he's buried there. So he went there and he told Sai Baba that, please help me find a guru like Ramana Maharshi. I'm giving you 42 days. If I don't find any guru, I'm going to live here as a beggar. And then the surprising thing is somebody comes along and then tells him that there is this place, there's this ashram in Andhra Pradesh, and there's this man who's exactly like Ramana Maharshi. And then goes and comes in contact with him, and that's how, through him, I got access, because I'm his nephew. I got a chance, because I was never into the spiritual seeking till I was 21. I was all into the Western thinking. Initially, when I was a kid, I had some spiritual. I mean, I had interest in. I mean, I loved Lord Hanuman. I did the Hanuman Chalisa. I liked all the stories of all the deities and gods, but there was not any concrete spiritual background. The surprising thing is that the education system here in India is very Western oriented. Although we live here in East, the our education system is very Westernized. We study in Christian missionary schools. We study in convent schools. We are kind of prodded into thinking in a certain way. Sometimes even nudged or even slightly forced, I could say. Um, but then after I completed my graduation, I was always a fitness addict. I always loved exercise, workout, bodybuilding, this and that. And father sent me to an ashram to pursue yoga. I mean, he told me, you go here, you're gonna fix your health, because I was okay. I was doing bodybuilding and everything, but I had a lot of bad habits, like smoking and drinking and all these things. And he sent me. Then that's when I did yoga first, and then I felt, wow, this looks simple, but man, it's so hard. I mean, it's so painful, all these asanas. And then I was like, let me go. This is a challenge. So I took it. It impacted my ego. So then I was, let me get into yoga. And then I spent 4 years of my life completely pursuing yoga. So I've been to different ashrams, including Isha Foundation as well. And then I did 2 years master's degree in yoga therapy. Teaching people with several ailments, yoga. Um and even now I do teach yoga. But then the thing was that I got also introduced to the philosophy of yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, all these things, and Kundalini, and I read a lot of books on Swami Shivananda. Then I was like, hey, I have a guru in my family, and I have never even gone there. Then at 21, while pursuing yoga, I got in touch with my guru, my uncle's guru, and then he became my guru, and that's how the seeking really propelled forward. And you know, now although I was a yoga teacher for 4 years, I was struggling financially because it's very hard to make a living teaching yoga. So through the blessings of my guru, I was able to come back into the mainstream job market and get a good career going. At the same time, pursue spirituality. So now I don't teach yoga for making a living. So I teach it with more freedom, more just like a service. And I have, because I have a profession that feeds me. I just explored. So this is how my life journey has been so far in a nutshell.
Understood. Can you tell me more about Hanuman?
So yeah, so Hanuman ji is the most popular deity in India. If you see Hanuman, if you come to India, you will find there's a Hanuman temple in every nook and cranny of this country. Every street will have a Hanuman temple, and he's someone you could say he's a primary deity, like the first deity who will respond to your prayers. And he's also physically here because he's been granted a boon of immortality, so his physical body is still here on this earth. So the vibrations that emanate out of his body can still be accessed by seekers when they chant the Hanuman Chalisa, or when they do the Rama Japa, or even if they read Ramayana or listen to Ramayana, right? Automatically, some amount of Hanuman's energy starts coming in. And Hanumanji is also very closely linked to the sun, because it was the sun, Surya Devata, or the sun god, is whom taught Hanuman all the knowledge, the jnana was given to Hanuman by the sun god. And he always had to keep up with the sun, so he had to be ready before the sun rose. He had to wake up and be ready for the sun, and then he had to follow the sun and keep up with him till he rests. So one who connects to Hanuman will notice that a lot of solar connection starts coming into that person's life. He starts waking up at 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., like early morning before even the sun comes. So even the color of Hanuman is sindura, like a saffron color, depicting the rising sun. So if anybody wants their inner sun, their knowledge to rise up, right? Hanumanji will give them help
Hmm.
to support their journey.
What about Shiva?
Yeah. Okay, so Shiva is the greatest guru ever. I mean, he's the Adi Yogi. He's the prime. He's the what do you say? He's the guru of all knowledge. So even Hanumanji is a amsha, or a reflection of Lord Shiva. It was Lord Shiva's desire to come down and to become part of the Rama Karya. When Rama also was going to take birth, Shiva and Parvati were discussing that, hey, Rama is going to take birth and we need to also support him. So then Shiva gets up and starts leaving. And then Parvati asks him, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to help out Rama in his birth." And then I too want to come, is what Parvati says. And then Shiva says, "Why do you want to come? Do you want to be like a tail to me?" And she said, "Yes, I'll be your tail." And that's how Hanuman comes. And Hanuman's tail is Shakti, and Hanuman himself is Shiva. So Hanuman and Shiva are very closely linked. And Shiva is a person who has been the anchor of all human consciousness on this planet. From Kailasha, he has taught the knowledge of seeking all across the world through the firstly through the Sapta Rishis, and then through several other Nagas as well, like Patanjali Maharishi, Panini. I mean, Shiva is. I mean, I can't. There's no words. I mean, I run out of words. It's like a. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm
tell me
also connected to Shiva. I also do Shiva Upasana, a lot of Shiva Upasana. Yeah.
tell me what is Hinduism?
So Hinduism actually is not Hinduism. Hinduism is a word coined by the Western ideologues. Uh, you know, actually, if you look at it, it is called Sanatana Dharma. That means the universal law or universal way of life, wherein you see the reflection of the creator in the creation. In Sanatan Dharma, creator is not separate from creation. Creator is part of creation. Creation and creator are one. So what that essentially does is it roots you to reality. It doesn't strip you away and take you into a delusional, dogmatic, mind frame. It roots you into reality, and when you root into the reality, right, the flowering happens. The tree grows, and then leaves come, the flowers come, the fruits come. That is the result. The fruit is sweet, yeah, and then you enjoy it. So that is Sanatan Dharma, essentially.
Anything else you wish to share with me about spirituality or other topics?
So for what I feel is that if there's when I could be wrong, I'm not saying that this is how it should be. If a man is pursuing spirituality, I think a man should first come into touch with his divine masculine. He's got to go to the gym. He's got to build some good muscles. He's got to feel like a man, right? So he's got to do all these masculine things. So when I go to the village, like where my guruji stays, he puts men through intense physical work. He puts us in the farm. He makes us lift huge weights, boulders, this, like huge rocks. He gives us all kinds of, although it burns karma, at the same time you get to come in touch with your masculine side. It builds your strength. So for men, I feel they should first come in contact with their masculine because it's easily accessible. And then what eventually happens is once they reach the peak of their masculine thing, it will saturate, and slowly they start coming into the feminine. So they pick up arts, they pick up meditation, they pick up these feminine arts, like painting, listening to good music, meditation. All these things slowly start coming. So directly everybody today is running behind meditation as if it is easily accessible. So what I feel is first they have to do something very physical, especially for the men, because I'm a man. I connect to men a lot, and I'm telling this from my experience. That is how I think men should it'll be more easy for men to seek spirituality from that part.
Understood. And what can you tell about me, my YouTube channel, and what I'm doing? What do you think about me?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? I think the
Yeah.
the audio is
What do you
little
think
bit.
about me, my YouTube channel, and what I'm doing? What do you think about me in general?
Oh, I think your, I don't know, the net connection is a bit off.
Um, can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello.
I think there's an issue with the internet. Like my connection is green. Can you see your connection? Is it green too?
My connection is good. I can see you. You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but your voice keeps breaking.
Uh,
I don't know why.
okay, we'll wait for a few seconds. Okay. Any better? Can you hear me clearly?
Let me change my connection to. I'll switch on the
Sure.
hotspot.
Bear with us, folks. We're gonna change the connection. Having some technical difficulties. In the meantime, enjoy this glorious view of the Adiyogi.
Shiva, I lose you. I'm losing you. Your voice is breaking. Let me see if I can connect to my hotspot.
Sure.
Oops.
So he's frozen. Looks like a connection is about to be changed. Hopefully it's successful. You can, of course, skip this part. You don't have to sit here while this is happening.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear crystal
Excellent.
clear. Go ahead.
So
Go
tell me
ahead,
about
please.
myself, my YouTube channel. Obviously, I've changed my name. What do you think about me and my YouTube channel as a whole?
I love your channel. I love the discussions. I love the community. Uh, you bringing together a group of people and providing them a platform to express themselves, to basically promote light on this earth. So I think that's what you're doing, irrespective of your personal things. That I have no opinion on that. I have, because I'm not living life from your eyes. I'm not living life from your place, your center. I'm not sure about all that, but I see what you're doing. I can see the effects of that. So that's what I see. You're bringing light to this world. You're providing a platform for people who also want to bring light to come together. I think that's what you're doing.
Mm. Tell me about the ego.
Okay. So ego is actually a very the Jungian psychology and the Freudian psychology is what termed this coin ego. I don't think it's ego. It's just identification. Because in the Yoga Sutras, yoga is defined as yogas chitta vritti nirodha. That means yoga is cessation of mental modifications. The vrittis are waves that are arising in the mind. Okay, in the chitta is the mind. So the vrittis are the waves in the mind. Okay, and then like Patanjali Maharshi goes to describe the third sutra as what happens when the yogas chitta vritti nirodha is reached, when when your waves, mental waves stop. What happens is tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. That means the drashtu, the seer who is behind these eyes, is going to reside in his true nature. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. That means he is going to come back to his home. That is the third sutra. The fourth sutra, it says, if not, what happens? What happens when the yoga's chitta vritti nirodha doesn't happen? He goes on to says, vritti sarupya mitaratra. That means the drashtu, the seer, gets identified with the mental modifications. So essentially, there is nothing called as ego, is what I feel. I just feel it is the seer, the experiencer, the witness. Sometimes he loses the feeling of being a witness, and he gets into a small compartment or a vritti or a mental form, and gets identified and thus become limited. And then when you are limited, you feel threatened because you have an expiry date. It's not forever. So when there's then that causes fear, and that causes anger, that causes all these other things that come. I think that's what's essentially happening. So eventually what human experience is all about is like a tango. Sometimes you get into the vritti, and then you get so far in and you realize what the hell, and then you step back, and then again somehow the pull, because you've been doing this for a while, you've been involved with the vrittis for millions and millions of years. Your conditioning in your DNA is like that, so you keep getting pulled. And then again somehow guru, to the grace of guru, or through your own karmic your own karmic good things, or whatever you've done, you keep stepping back. So it's like a play, tango. Eventually what happens is, the more time you start stepping into the witness, the more time you start stepping into your own true nature, slowly you stop this involvement with the vrittis. The vrittis are there, they just come and go, you just be here. Eventually this starts what do you call, granulating or crystallizing. So then what happens is, then there will be an ego, but it will be a very refined ego. It won't be a tamasic ego or a rajasic ego, you could say, like a passionate ego or a vengeful or a fearful or an angry ego. It will be a very pure ego. So all the devatas and the deities that you see, they too have an ego. That's why they have a form. For example, the Adi Yogi statue. So that is Adi Yogi's ego. That's why he has taken form. Otherwise, he is unmanifest reality. You cannot perceive. You can in your deep sleep, you become one with the formless part of Shiva. When you awaken, when you look at all the other forms of Shiva, you identify with his ego. So even the deities also have an ego. They also get angry. That's why there's several stories of gods getting angry, and how they too have desire to create children and procreate, and they some have desire to serve, some have desire to bless, some because when you as a devotee call out to the deity has to have an ego, otherwise he will not respond, right? So even the gods, the guru also has an ego. Otherwise, he cannot be in the physical form, the physical guru. So this is my understanding of ego as what you say. So I don't think it's. I mean, I'm not saying that I know everything. I'm saying this is what I understand from my life journey so far.
Hmm. Yes,
Yeah,
well said. And shout out to the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali.
Patanjali. Yes.
Tell me about Shiva and Shakti.
Okay. So Shiva and Shakti, essentially, if you look at it, if you even if you look at, if you're a student of science, if you studied physics, you will know that the atom, there is a force in the center that is stable, and there's particles moving all around it. So how are these particles moving around it? Or even if you look at the galaxy, the Milky Way, it's moving around, and then but in the center there's something that is stable, a core that is holding this dynamism together, because it is able to hold the dynamism. Only something that is still can perceive change. If the stillness is part of the change, it will never perceive it as change because you get lost in it. So essentially, Shiva is the stillness, it is the witness. The Shakti is the experience that is going around Shiva, around Shiva, around Shiva. And then when he decides that he's had enough, the Shakti comes into him, and it's the Shiva Linga. It's like a nuclear reactor. The Shakti is inside him. And then he says, okay, I'm good. Now I have to move. Then he becomes Nataraja. He starts playing, he starts dancing. Starts moving fantastically with the Shakti. And he becomes Kala Bhairava. He starts moving with the Shakti. He starts interacting with the Shakti. So ultimately, this is what I understand how Shiva and Shakti, because when you sleep, you become Shiva, inert, deep sleep. Sometimes there are dreams. That means even in your even in your sleep, there is some Shakti that is active. That's why there's a lot of dreams that are coming and going. And when you awaken, you come into Shakti completely. You come into this world, involved into the physical reality, because the word matter, the root word of, if you see the word matter and the word mother, they have the same root word. So mother, which means creation, because without mother, this physical body is not possible, right? 9 months we form and then we come out. So the matter is coming from the mother. So when we come out into this material world, what essentially we're trying to involve, the Shiva nature inside us has some desire. That's why when we wake up, we involve with reality. If there's no desire, Shiva won't wake up. He will just continue sleeping. So I think when you look at your own life, how you are going through this waking, dreaming, sleeping, you understand the Shiva and Shakti completely, because both are inside you.
Mm.
Well, the man has more Shiva nature than Shakti nature, largely, and the woman has more Shakti nature and slightly less Shiva nature. But essentially, everybody is a combination of both. Every living creature is a combination of both. So that's what I am able to perceive through my experience, Shiva and Shakti.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Those are all the questions that I have for now, for today. But I'd love to have you back on and we can further discuss the science of Sanatana Dharma. So, any
Thank you,
words you wish to
Shiva.
share with us? Any final words? Please let us know.
I think I have nothing to say. I mean, I love what you're doing, and I see that the earth is changing. People are seeking more. So thank you, Shiva, and Har Har Mahadev, Shambho Shankara, Jai Ma Kali.
Thank you very much, Shiva Shambho.